All right, from the islands of Hawaii, the Spartan, Martin Day. What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up, bro?
2019, you had to sit out the whole year. Two fights canceled. Let's get into the first one. March, UFC Nashville. You're supposed to face off with Chris Gutierrez. What happened
Right?
in that?
Yeah. So what had happened was in training camp, I suffered a knee injury. It was a tear in my meniscus. Um, Turned out that the doctor said I didn't need surgery and whatnot, but probably should have got it in the first place because they ended up coming back and kind of coming back with a vengeance after that on the next fight I was supposed to fight. So I've actually never pulled out of a fight in my whole career, amateur
Mhm.
and all. So it really sucked to have to pull out of two fights in a row. Now that I'm in the UFC, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Well, I think you got to take the career a little bit more seriously when every fight pretty much counts more than any other fight, right?
Right, right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been taking my career seriously since the beginning.
Mhm.
I've been making every single one of them count, but yeah, there's definitely another level to this. But once you're here at this level in the UFC.
So, did you finally get the surgery after the second time you had to pull out the fight, or did you just go into rehab? What happened with that?
The first time I went to rehab without doing surgery, it was recommended that I could just do the rehab. But the second time I did the surgery and got it fixed, and now it's back to 100%. So the knee is good to go, and we're in camp now, so it's going well.
How long have you been ready to fight? Did it take you a while to get matched up again?
No, not at all. As soon as I told my manager, I'm back to full training. Got in good shape after my knee surgery. As soon as that happened, he went on looking and got me a fight a few weeks later. So yeah, it didn't take too long.
With the knee surgery and the recovery and everything, did it give you time to focus on other things while you had to sit out a lot of the training?
Yeah, this time off is actually, it sucks to take time off, and it's not something you look forward to. But I think overall it's been good for me. I've been able to focus on some weaknesses in my game, like my strength and conditioning, some grappling, jujitsu. So I've been able to work on a lot of things during this time off that I otherwise maybe wouldn't have had time for. But yeah, I think overall it's been good, and yeah, I've taken the time to learn and get better.
How did you stay afloat during that time? Because if you don't fight, you don't really make an income. So, do you have other things that you do on the side that keep you, afloat?
Yeah, yeah. I teach some Taekwondo classes. I actually help run a Taekwondo school, the school I grew up teaching in. It's something that I love to do. I love teaching kids and passing on what I've learned as a martial artist. So I go in there and I teach a few times a week and things like that. And my wife, she helps out, of course, and all my family and everything down here. So it's not too bad. It's a good life.
Yeah, I noticed that you do have on the rib cage Taekwondo written in Korean. So, it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
good.
Right. I grew up doing Taekwondo, and so that's my base. So yeah, I'm happy to represent that in my fighting style.
Yeah, when you have a base like Taekwondo, like what techniques do you feel like is the most useful for you in mixed martial arts?
Just the different kicking, all the different kicking variety. The looks that you get in there is a lot different than what people in a regular kickboxing or Muay Thai. It's a different movement. It's very dynamic, very fast, and with the spinning kicks and the different type of kicks from all angles, it can be hard to prepare for something like that, and it's something that you can't really mimic in practice. So if you're getting ready for a fight with me, you'll probably have to bring in another Taekwondo guy to get that look. Otherwise, it's not going to be the same. You can't just bring in a guy who knows how to throw a Muay Thai kick or something like that. Definitely a different look. It's a different dynamic.
All right, well, you got your fight lined up. UFC Columbus, Randy Costa is your opponent. What were your thoughts when that name came across your table?
I mean, I didn't know who he was at first, and then I went ahead and watched his latest fight against local boy Boston Simon, and I know him. We're both from the same island, and so I'm gonna be getting that one back for Hawaii. But I didn't know who he was until I saw. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the guy who beat Boston. So then I kind of, I knew who he was after that, obviously, after I studied him. But when the name first came up, I didn't know who he was.
When you assess his last two fights in the UFC, what is your breakdown of him?
Well, his first fight, he came into the UFC and fought a good opponent, a quality opponent. His fights leading up to that where it was not against quality opponents. His those four fights were against lesser level opponents. And then when he got into the UFC, he kind of showed what's going on with a high level guy and kind of melted there. And then he came in and he did a good job against Boston. I do think Boston will win that fight most times, 99 out of 100 times. He just caught Boston slipping. But like I said, I'm going to get that one back for Hawaii. And yeah, but, not to take away from the guy. He's got his tools. He's got his good points that he does. But, at this level, everybody's good. I just feel like I'm on another level than him.
Well, training camp, where have you been splitting your time?
As far as the gyms I go to,
Yes.
I spent a lot of time at Hawaii Elite MMA. And I also trained at Gracie Technics. Here, you gotta get in what you can. So those are my two main spots. I still get some movement in at my Taekwondo school. Here and there. But as for my training, those are my two main spots. I probably spend most of my time at Hawaii Elite. With Charles Kipili. He's my main coach, my striking coach, and then my grappling coach is over at Rylan Lazares over at Gracie Technics. So there's a lot of, those two gyms work together a lot, and so I split my time between those two spots.
Who has been the best training partner for you leading up to this fight?
I mean, my boy Max Holloway has been helping me out with all my rounds, and he's been a really good look for me, sparring, picking his brain, and what better guy to have than, one of the best strikers on the planet. So, blessed to have him helping me out for sure.
Do you see him fighting Volkanovski next?
I hope so, man. I mean, Max was a dominant champion, and that fight was not like he got blown out of the water. That could have easily gone Max's way. A lot of people thought it did, including myself. But, yeah, man, I mean, I hope they give him an immediate rematch. I don't see how you can't.
With the strength and conditioning that you've been focusing on, have you allowed your body to build more into being a bantamweight more since you did fight at flyweight for a while?
Yeah, flyweight was tough to make though. I was very big for a flyweight. My first fight at flyweight, I was probably maybe an actual flyweight. But after that, my body blew up and I got a lot bigger. So I definitely can't be making flyweight anymore. And yeah, I put on some muscle, focus on my strength program. My strength and conditioning coach Jordan, he's been helping me out planning with that, and I'm feeling stronger and more explosive than I've ever felt before. And that's one of the things we were able to work on during my time off as well as my strength.
A lot of people are going to talk about the long layoff heading into this fight. Do you believe that there is such a thing as cage rust, or are you just going to come out there from the start and go straight full blast?
The cage rust is a mental deficiency. The ring rust people talk about, that just depends on the fighter's mindset. So if you go in there and you're causing yourself to be pressured by all these outside sources, or pressure is just caused by outside anxiety. So, I don't have that. My mindset is calm. I'm in the moment. And when I go in there, it's just what I do, So I don't believe ring rust will affect me whatsoever. Like I said, it's a mental thing. I don't have that mental deficiency. I'm 100% in there. And when I'm in there, it's just doing what I was put on this earth to do. It's just flow. It's just fun. So no ring rust for me.
When you visualize this fight against Costa, it seems like Costa is a guy that comes out gunning. Do you see that type of fight?
Oh yeah, he's very aggressive. Yeah, definitely. First round he comes out really strong, and we'll be looking to exploit that. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting for sure. He's a striker. I'm a striker. He starts really, really fast, and he's very explosive as well. So us two getting locked in the cage together is gonna be for an exciting match, and I'm looking to be taking home that bonus.
You being a bantamweight, looking to climb the ranks, you're probably watching the division right now. The title fight is coming up at UFC 250, Cejudo versus Aldo. Was that the fight to make, do you think, in your opinion?
It's Cejudo. I'm not paying too much attention to it, to be honest. I kind of stay in my own lane. I'm not at that level yet, so I'm not really looking up there. But I mean, my boy Aljamain Sterling, I think should be a little bit more in that picture. It's Cejudo and Aldo, yeah. I think Aldro should be up there. I think he deserves a shot, but not to take away from the other guys. Those guys are both hammers too, But yeah, Aldro's definitely worked his way up there, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like he's the odd man out right now because they matched up
Yeah,
Hyon versus Moraes, and he's just sitting there. And a lot of people felt, like you said, he deserved the next title shot.
yeah. I thought he did. I thought he was gonna get it. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I'm not the matchmaker, so
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Well, one last thing before I let you go. There's many different types of competitors throughout the world of combat sports. Do you consider yourself more of a prize fighter or a martial artist?
I'm a martial artist, man. This is for me. This is a lifestyle. I grew up training. I'll continue to train long after I fight. Being a martial artist is not just about training when you have a fight coming up or training when there's a competition or when you're motivated. It's just a lifestyle. So that's what I am. It's just what I do. I train every day, and I'm looking to improve myself every day. When there's an opponent, I have a specific game plan, and we have things that we work on. But as for that, just 1% better every day, and just trying to become a better human being, better martial artist, and a better fighter daily. And then the rest will take care of itself. So definitely for me, I could categorize myself as a martial artist more so than a prize fighter.
When you take away the injury and recovering from that, where have you grown more? On your mental side, or do you feel on your skill set?
I feel both equally that I've grown. I've been having to overcome some challenges with the injury thing. So mentally, I've definitely grown. And then, like I was saying earlier, with the weaker parts of my game, I've been able to work on those. So I'd say I've grown equally in both areas, both the mental and the physical.
All right, March 28th, UFC on ESPN plus 28. No, actually, is that right?
I don't know, man. I just
Yeah,
know I'm
it's
gonna
it's
be
confusing,
stepping.
right? Like there's so
I just
many.
gotta be, yeah. I just gotta be scrapping. March 28th.
Yeah, March 28th in Columbus, right? That's it.
Yeah,
You know the
yeah.
location, man. Appreciate the time, Martin, man. Confusing right there, but hey, it is what it is. Good luck on the fight. Good luck on everything that you're doing on the islands, and we'll speak again.
All right, bro. Thank you very much for having me. Have a good rest of your day.